Have you ever noticed that you don't react the same way you used to, but you can't explain why? Like something inside you has quietly shifted. You see things faster, you read people deeper, you question things you once accepted without thinking. But at the same time, you feel more disconnected, more in your head, more alone in a room of noise. And here's the part that confuses you the most. If this is growth, why does it feel like something is breaking? Because what if I told you these aren't signs of something going wrong? They're signs your mind is evolving and you're just starting to notice it. Here's the thing. You've probably spent a long time thinking something about you was off. Maybe you felt slower socially but faster mentally. Maybe you overthink small things while others ignore big ones. You sit there watching conversations happen, and you see layers behind words that nobody else reacts to. Sometimes you wish you could just switch it off, just be simple, just be normal. But you can't. And that gap between how you think and how others seem to think, it creates this quiet distance. Not loud, not dramatic, just always there. And psychology has a very specific explanation for why this happens to people like you. The first thing psychology noticed is this. You've started doubting yourself more, not less. It sounds backwards, but it's real. This connects to something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It means people who know very little feel confident, while people who are actually growing start seeing how much they don't know. You catch yourself saying, maybe I'm wrong, more often now. You second-guess your opinions. You pause before speaking even when you're right. And it frustrates you. But here's the truth. That doubt isn't weakness, it's awareness expanding. Your mind is finally seeing complexity, and that's not a step back, that's a step deeper. Then there's something even subtler. You notice contradictions inside yourself. You believe one thing, but feel another. You want something, but avoid it at the same time. That uncomfortable tension, that's called cognitive dissonance. It's when your mind holds two conflicting ideas at once. Before, you ignored it. Now you can't. You feel it in quiet moments, late at night when everything slows down. And here's the part nobody talks about. This discomfort means your brain is trying to reorganize itself. You're not confused, you're updating. In that process, it's messy, but it's also a sign your thinking is becoming more flexible, more real. The next thing, you've become more aware of your reactions. Not just what you feel, but why you feel it. This connects to something called the fight or flight response. It's your brain's automatic survival mode when it senses danger. But now, you catch it happening. Your heart races, and instead of reacting instantly, you pause. You think, why am I feeling this? That small pause, that gap between feeling and action, that's intelligence growing in real time. Because most people react. You observe, and then choose. And that changes everything. And if you're honest, there's another shift you've felt. You don't chase people the same way anymore. Not because you don't care, but because you see patterns now. This connects to attachment theory. It explains how your early experiences shape the way you connect with others. Before, you might have ignored red flags. You stayed too long. You tried to fix things that weren't yours to fix. Now, you notice distance, inconsistency, energy that feels off. And instead of running toward it, you hesitate. That hesitation, it's not fear. It's awareness protecting you. Then there's something deeper. You've started taking more responsibility for your life, even when it's uncomfortable. This is called your locus of control. It's about whether your life is controlled by outside forces or by your own actions. And something shifted. You stopped blaming everything around you, not completely, but enough to notice. You think, what could I have done differently? And yeah, that question is heavy because it puts pressure on you, but it also gives you power. And that's a trade most people never make. Now, here's where it gets real. You've become more aware of how others see you. Not in a shallow way, but in a deep, almost painful way. This is called rejection sensitivity, It means your brain picks up on signs of rejection faster and stronger. A small change in tone, a delayed reply, a look that lasts 1 second too long. You notice it, and sometimes it hurts more than it should. But pause for a second. That sensitivity isn't random. It's your brain processing social information at a higher level. You're reading between lines most people don't even see. And yeah, it makes things heavier, but it also makes you more aware than most. Then there's something you might not have connected yet. You get mentally tired faster than others, even if you didn't do much physically. That's cognitive load. It's the amount of mental effort your brain is using at any moment. You're constantly analyzing, observing, thinking deeper than the surface. So while others are just existing, you're processing. And that takes energy. So when you feel drained after simple interactions, it's not laziness, it's your brain working overtime. And here's a hard truth. Smart people tend to step back. Most people rush in. Smart people question things. Most people accept them. Smart people feel isolated sometimes. Most people feel comfortable in the crowd. You probably already know which one you are. And yeah, that distance you feel, it's real, but it's also the cost of seeing more than what's obvious. There's one more thing. You've started noticing your own emotional patterns. When you overreact, when you shut down, when you avoid things you actually care about. This is called emotional dysregulation. It means your emotions sometimes feel bigger than your control. But here's the shift. You don't just feel it anymore. You track it. You think, this is happening again. That awareness, even if it comes after the reaction, it's growth. Because before it was invisible. Now it has a name. And once something has a name, you can understand it. And once you understand it, you can change it. So if all of this feels familiar, if you've been sitting there wondering why your mind feels heavier, why you think more, feel more, question more, this is what it actually means. You're not falling behind. You're not broken. You're becoming more aware of reality inside and outside of you. And that process, it's not clean. It's confusing. It's isolating. Sometimes it even feels painful because you're losing the comfort of not knowing and gaining the weight of understanding. And I know, some days you wish you could go back to simpler thoughts, simpler feelings, but you can't, because once you see, you see. And here's the quiet truth. You were never meant to stay the same. You were built to question, to notice, to feel things others ignore. And the world doesn't always reward that. Sometimes it makes you feel like you don't belong anywhere. But maybe you're not supposed to belong everywhere. Maybe you're just starting to understand where you actually fit. If this felt like someone finally put your thoughts into words, then this isn't just a video you watched. It's something you recognized. And that matters. Because most people go their whole lives without understanding their own mind. But you're not doing that anymore. So if you want more of this, not motivation, not fake positivity, but real understanding of how your mind works, then stay here. Because this channel is for the version of you that's waking up, even when it's uncomfortable. And the more you understand your mind, the less you'll feel lost inside it.